question I would want us to let it just ruminate in our mind is how do you measure the effectiveness of a leader? How can you measure the effectiveness of a leader? Then lastly, if you are to put two people side by side, can you tell which is a better leader? You know, the funny thing is that times are changing, the world is changing, and everything is changing. The answer to this question some years ago will not be the same answer to the question today. You know why? At the point, leaders are judged by look, by strength, by a whole lot of things. But because times are changing and the rule of work is changing, we are now being judged by a new yardstick. Now, this yardstick is not just about how smart we are. This yardstick does not just judge us based on our training and our expertise, but this new yardstick judges us based on how we can handle ourselves and other people, how we can manage ourselves and other people. And this actually takes us to emotional intelligence, basically, because this new yardstick is actually emotional intelligence. Now, the question is, what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence, I want to go with the dictionary definition. It says it's understanding your emotion and understanding the emotion of everybody around you. Now, the emphasis is on understanding. It is, I did not use the word you know yourself. No. It is not knowing your emotion. No. You have to understand. It's based on understanding. You need to understand your emotions and you need to understand the emotions of those around you as a leader. And that is what puts you on a platform to be able to pull people towards you. I will just briefly mention some components of emotional intelligence. And I think on mentioning this component, we might now delve into something that intersects in the last class. One of the components of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. Now, when we talk about self-awareness, what we're talking about? We're talking about you as a leader, you need to recognize your strength, you need to recognize your weakness, and you also need to recognize your triggers. But speaking from the educational perspective, I would want to say that basically, majority of our school head, they have not come to the terms of recognizing their strengths. Because if they do recognize their strength, a lot more would be done in education than what we're experiencing today. I think a lot of school leaders are still struggling with recognizing their strength. And it is after you recognize your strength, that is when you can even talk about recognizing your triggers. Hold on, just excuse me. Okay. Sorry, please. Sorry, please. I'm sorry. I have to lock the door for somebody. Okay. Like as I was saying, I said a lot of school leaders were here to come to terms with recognizing our strength and recognizing our weakness, our strengths mainly. Now, secondly, we also need to understand self-regulation, which is actually another component of emotional intelligence. When we talk about self-regulation, what we're talking about? We're talking about managing disruptive emotions. In the school system, there are a lot of things that will definitely trigger you, from teachers, from parents, from students, just name it. A lot is being heaped on us every day. Now, being a school head or a leader, basically, you should be able to understand self-regulation, which some people call self-control. Whatever the situation is, you should be able to regulate yourself and you stay calm and stay focused. Another one here is what's it called? Motivation. Still under the component of emotional intelligence. You know, I sometimes wonder the thin line between emotion and motive. Emotion and motive. Now, why do I say that? Sometimes your motive, if you have the right motivation, before you know, it triggers your emotion in that direction. If you have the right motivation to do something that is right, it triggers your emotion. But the most important thing is having the motive has to come first. I want to do this. This is the right thing to do. It triggers your emotion in that direction. Then another one here is what's it called? Empathy. And I think it was the empathy that intercepted. Hello. Hello.
In progress.
Yes, we can hear you.
Progress.
Please,
Yes, we can hear you.
where did you stop hearing me? Hello. Where did you stop hearing me? Can I continue?
Please continue. Yeah.
Okay. So I was talking on empathy, that empathy is putting yourself in people's position in attempt to do what? To provide solution, which was actually what intersected with Mrs. Abili's teaching, where he said we should change the traditional way of asking questions for us to understand what's going on in people's lives as leaders. Then also another component is the social skills, where you talk about negotiation, conflict management, teamwork. Now the thing there is, if all the components of emotional intelligence is at the fingertip of leaders, we will come to terms with the fact that leadership is totally on influence. Leadership is influence. Your ability to be able to influence people, your ability to be able to carry people in a particular direction. I think I read a quote somewhere where he says that if you're leading or you're moving and you turn back and you don't have followers, you are actually taking a walk, because leadership is all about influence. You need to have followers for you to be a leader. And then that takes me to some of the myths on leadership, misconception on leadership generally, and school leadership. And one of the myths of leadership is the entrepreneur's myth, where everybody believes that as every school owner is a leader. That's not true. That is not true. The proprietors of the school saw a need and met the need. But that does not basically put the proprietor or the proprietress of that school as a leader. It doesn't. It doesn't put that person as a leader. And this is the problem most schools have, because the school owners, they have not even come to terms with the fact that they started the school, that they are entrepreneurs, doesn't basically put them on the position of leadership. It will take them to like understand what leadership is, so they could employ the right people or go for leadership training, so that it will not look like they are rocking, is like moving on a rocking horse. That's one of the myths of leadership. Another myth of leadership is the fact that, there are some schools, they have some set of people, they see them as the pioneers of the school. When the school started, these are the first teachers, these are the first. So automatically, because those people have been there over the years, the both the school owners, both what's it called, subsequent teachers that join, they just automatically see them as leaders. Being a trendsetter doesn't make you a leader. In short, if I have to like stay here a bit, I will even say that some of these pioneers, if you look at it deeply, some of them are the people causing problems in the school. Why? Because people will believe them for whatever they say, good or bad, because these people have been there from the beginning of from the time the school started. They have been there. Now, it is a wrong concept, both for school owners and even for teachers, to just automatically believe that because some people have been there from the onset or from the beginning of the school, it puts them in a position of leadership. No. And the funny thing, the most painful thing about what's it called, pioneer, the myth on pioneer, is that this set of people, they become even complacent. And at the end of the day, as proprietors and proprietors, at the end of the day, you'll discover that you'll be paying for presence, because these people, at a point, they are not even adding value to the school. They are just there marking time, waiting for 2 years time they will increase my salary. So they are not even in a struggle to get knowledge. They are not in a struggle to make impact. They are not innovative. There is nothing. They're just there. And as they are there, people believe in them. It is a myth that school school owners should look into, and we need to start correcting some of these things. I do tell my teachers sometimes that, say, I don't have a 5.6, is it 6.5 kVA generator to celebrate somebody that has been with me for 30 years. I don't have tabletop fridge to celebrate. It's not like it's bad, but even the biology, the normal biology of nature is that a man and a woman, they come together, they give birth to a child, and the child grows up to a certain level. The child becomes independent, and the child starts a family of his own. That is how things are meant to be. So people coming into the school setting, they are supposed to work for a period of time, then you now become independent, either to start your own. And you understand? But if you're there to stay and wait for the school to be celebrating you, both school head and even the, what's it called, the some teachers, they celebrate it. And to me it's all about it stunts growth, it stunts vision. So that's about that. Then also, another myth is that believing that position, it is the leaders that makes the position. It is the leaders that makes it's not the position that makes the leaders. We just believe that because they've called somebody HOD or principal, it is not the position that makes you a leader. It is how you manage and navigate. That is what makes you a leader. And that is why I would rather want to use the word interchangeably. It is not the position that makes the leader, it is the leader that makes the position. Now, how do I say, if you want to test whether the person you've put in a particular position is actually a leader or not, now this is just a test. Tell them to effect a change. Tell them to effect a change. A leader, it will not take a leader anything to effect that change. Why? Because they understand that they are working with people, and it is all about influence. But it will just take, let me use the word, a manager. The manager, he will struggle with it because he is not a people-oriented person. So that is it about myths on leadership. So the question now is, and another one I want to talk about is the knowledge myth. If leadership is based on knowledge, then all the professors in Nigeria would be very wonderful leaders. But if we had to even rate some professors, their leadership skill is very, very, very low. Very low. Absolutely very low. So it is not based on all about knowledge. Leadership is a skill. So I now go ahead and what is now leadership? Leadership is character. Your character. Leadership also is relationship. We've talked about it. You should know the people you're working with, whether your teachers, whether parents, whether students. You should have an in-depth knowledge of the people you're working with. Leadership is also knowledge, and you ask, but Ms. Innocent, you just said if it's knowledge, then the professors will be wonderful leaders. Yes, you need knowledge, but knowledge enough does not make you a leader. Knowledge enough doesn't make you a leader. Experience too makes you a leader. Now, experience is not actually is not actually a criteria for leadership, but at least people will follow you based on experience. People will follow you based on experience, but it's actually not a criteria. for leadership. Then also past success stories. When he was here, this was what he did, this was what he was able to achieve. It also helps you on leadership. Then to round up today's topic, I believe everybody can be a leader. Now, how can everybody fall into the category of leadership? That is where emotional intelligence comes in. And the question is, how can I improve on my emotional intelligence? But that's a question we'll be diving deep into during the physical training. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, thank you very much, madam. That was a wonderful session with us. Yes, and I don't know if anybody has a question. A lot of madam has shaking table tonight. She has really shaking table tonight. That delivery is a table shaker because a lot of things that she said are not leadership. All right, is what we all of us think or regard to be what leadership is. You know, now that she said that these are not leadership, that means you just have to be in this training on Thursday and Friday, so that she will then tell us what leadership is. And also, she said emotional intelligence is the one of the greatest resources a leadership possess. And she also hang a question there. So I will advise and I will also plead with us to please be on ground on Thursday 26th and Friday 27th. That is just this week, towards this weekend. Yes. So I don't know if anyone has a question that he or she would like to ask before we call it uh, quit for tonight. One of us in attendance. Anybody have any question to ask? Yes, please.
Yes, yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Good
Good
evening,
evening, sir. How are
Dr.
you, sir?
Adedamola, and good evening,
Good
Madam Innocent.
evening, sir. Thanks, sir.
Thank you very much for this
We
session.
can hear you.
I must, yes, I must confess that I really paid attention to this since the tester class started. And I also was very inspired by your opening story, how you boldly stood up that you are one of the best leaders that is known. That for me is an inspiration. Following that, my question is, emotional intelligence, does it have an elasticity point? And if it does, at what point can it be said to have been broken? And when it's broken, can we not judge that leader as not being emotional intelligent? So these are my questions, man. Thank you once again.
Mm. Okay, but sir, please, I don't know. I can you retake the question because I do not understand the question. Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Can you elaborate a little so that I have an understanding of the question?
Okay, maybe I repeat myself. I had the transmission break.
Okay.
The question is,
And at what point can some a leader be said not to be no longer be emotionally intelligent? I think that's what he asked. At what point? Yes.
Okay. I will
Do you get
take
that?
you back. Okay. I will just take you back. I will take you back to the components of leadership, which, sorry, the components of emotional intelligence, which I spoke about. And I literally gave 5, which was self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Now, if a leader is falling short of any one of these, if a leader is falling short of any one of these, I think as at that point you can draw the line. But you have to have an in-depth understanding of what each of these components stands for. You just have to have an understanding of what motivation stands for, what empathy stands for. And sometimes empathy, it looks like at a point is as if empathy is like giving people visa to misbehave. No, 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 no. Empathy does not give people visa to misbehave. No, it doesn't. It's just trying to understand and providing solution. And when, like Mrs. Abili said, he said, you understand from the point that this person already has, what's it called? Standing records. A teacher has standing records of punctuality. Teacher has standing records of meeting deadline. And for one reason or the other, the teacher did not meet up at a particular point, it will not be advisable for that teacher to be penalized outrightly. It would be nice for the school head or the school leader to try to have a dialogue and understand. Now, another thing I would want to say, probably I don't know if it's still in line with the question. Emotional intelligence, is a topic that cannot be overemphasized. It is inexhaustive. Why do I use the word? Because in a time like this, if there is any time to use emotional intelligence, is a time like this in this country, Nigeria, a time like this where you can close school this second term now. You can just close school with 25 teachers and you are resuming with 15 teachers. 10 will go without giving you an explanation of this is what led to this. Now, where you will only find peace and comfort in the fact that it was not something that you were meant to do, that you did not do, that sent them away. It wasn't something, it was not that you were falling short of anything as a school head. That was what sent them away. At least you clear your conscience on that. So when it comes to emotion, it is for you to have an in-depth knowledge of the people you are working with. It is also a time where emotional intelligence can still not be overemphasized. In a situation where there are just in a street, you have like 5 schools where a parent can be owing in one school and just decides to pull their children, sometimes not even owing anything. At the slightest correction, your child did not dress well, we punished we punished your child, or we told your child to stand aside. Then they just pick the child to another school very close to your school so that you see, because they're doing it to actually get at you. That is where you see emotional intelligence, understanding people, your self-awareness, your self-regulation, you understand your empathy, your social skills, your negotiation skills, your conflict management skill, clear communication, everything has to come into play so that you know that you crossed every T and you dotted every I. So if they are leaving, you just have peace with yourself and understand that, oh, fine and good, I did what I was supposed to do. I don't know if it answers your question.
Okay, let me rephrase this question.
Okay.
Right. What he asked is, can emotional intelligence run out or reach a limit in a leader? Or
No, no, no.
is there a point where a leader stops being emotionally intelligent?
Okay, okay, that's the question.
Good evening. Please, Mrs. Innocent, can I come in?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. Thank you.
I think there is a time in which the emotional intelligence elapses.
Okay.
And I think it has to do with old age. It has to do with old age.
Really?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah,
There
Okay.
are
that's serious.
sometimes some school owners, they are old already. Though there is a saying that says, tired but never tired.
Your voice has gone, madam, and we were quite enjoying before. Your voice has gone. What did you do? Are you using it? And are you using earpiece or what? Are you it's just touched?
Ah,
Can you still, Mrs. Innocent, can you still hear him clearly?
I can't hear her. I can't hear her. But can you hear me?
I
Can
can hear
hear
you
you,
very
Mrs.
well, Mrs.
Innocent.
Innocent.
Okay, ma, please.
Now
I
you are
would
back
want
now.
to hear.
You are back now. Take away from before.
Okay.
Okay.
So I said I think it has to do with age. You know, some school owners, some of them are sick, they will not want the staff to be aware. And by the time you have issue at the head of school, maybe some of his parents and you bring it to that the way that you take it at the head of school, you don't like it. You know, and if anything happens, you will be liable. So sometimes some head of school owners don't have to look at it in such a way that maybe when they get to a certain age, maybe they need to step down or they have some maybe health issues, they need to step down so that the people that are doing it helping them, because everybody cannot do this. We have vision helpers, and they'll be running it well for you. So what you are doing is fine. The only just the one who knows the university and they receive whatever they are giving you and they are doing
Want you.
it well.
This
But
want you. This
of
want
course,
you.
we have
This
some
want you.
hand. They have some hand like consultants that are helping you come and do check and balance. So I think sometimes
It's
emotional
not this
intelligence
want you.
Okay.
to me.
Okay.
Hmm.
Dr. Dedamola, did you hear her well?
Not at all.
Dr. Dedamola. Okay, but I want to
Not
pick
at all.
if you. Okay, let me pick what I got from her. She said that emotional intelligence runs out with age, right? I think those were, and I think she was trying to elaborate on it that some school
I
head.
heard that one. I heard that one.
Yes,
But it was what
and
she
I
was
think that was
elaborating that I did not get.
yes, but yes, she was trying to elaborate on it that there are some school head that when they are old. Now,
Yeah.
why do I use the word? Why do
Put it
I
on the
say
floor.
emotion? Yes,
Oh,
but I still want to say that emotional intelligence does not run out with age. Why? Let me just use the word leadership. Does not remember that before we delved into uh in the course of the training, I had to say something. I said there are a lot of myths on school leadership. Do you understand? Now, and I mentioned the entrepreneurs myth, which is actually the school owners myth, where people believe that every school owner is a leader. It takes you to really have emotional intelligence for you to lead. Because if it's a function of age, Nelson Mandela will not lead us till old age. And he wrote his name in gold and died with integrity. Do you understand? So I don't want to believe that emotional intelligence, there is an elasticity and there is a breaking point for it. No, there isn't. Dr. Ditamola, I hope I was heard.
yes, we heard you.
Okay,
I
okay.
think we will have to stop at this point. People have asked questions, so we have to stop on because it's already 9:15. But before we go, I just want to recap on things you've said.
Okay.
Okay, so that people who came in late and have missed what you've said, they get it. You discuss on two major things. You define the component of emotional intelligence. You also talked on leadership. You also debunked leadership myths, and and the emotional intelligence component that you mentioned to us. You mentioned self-awareness, how we can recognize our strengths and triggers. You mentioned self-regulation, how you can manage disruptive emotions and staying calm and staying focused. Number three, component of emotional intelligence, you mentioned motivation, how proper motivation triggers emotions in the right direction. The fourth component of emotional intelligence that you mentioned is empathy, putting yourself in others' positions to provide solutions. And the last component of emotional intelligence that Mrs. Innocent mentioned tonight is social skills, how you can negotiate, how you can manage conflicts, how you can foster teamwork. Those are the five components of emotional intelligence that Mrs. Innocent mentioned tonight. And then she also debunked some myths regarding what we think leadership is. So she mentioned four of them. She mentioned the entrepreneur myth, like being a school owner, the owner, business owner of a school, doesn't automatically make you a leader. As she mentioned, the pioneer myth, being an early member of a school or founding staff does not qualify you automatically to be conferred with leadership position. And number three myth that she busted tonight is the position myth, which is it's leaders who make positions and not positions that make leaders. Okay, then some people want to lead, but they don't want to be responsible. And the last myth which she told us tonight is the knowledge myth. Knowledge alone does make someone a leader. If it is so, professors aren't necessarily great leaders. And lastly, she talked about what leadership actually is. So he said leadership is character. He said leadership is knowledge, leadership is experience, and leadership is past success, if I'm very correct. So
Yes.
leadership is fundamentally about influence and the ability to carry people along. Everyone can be a leader through developing emotional intelligence. That's just the recap of everything Madam Minister has blessed us with tonight. So I want us to drop our emojis to say thank you, Madam Innocent. Thank you so very much. That was wonderful. Now, 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 we thank you very much, Sidro Man. I don't know who that is. Thank you, Madam Adeshola, Grandma Adeshola. Thank you very much for the claps. So on this note, we want us to round off for tonight. Draw the curtain. Please don't forget the all this will be these class three. All these things we've been doing, they are just to salivate our appetite regarding the paradigm shift 2026 that is coming up this week. This week, and it's coming up, as we said again, on the 26th, Thursday 26th, and Friday 27th of this February. And the address is right there. Is right there on the screen, which is a numerical center, Stepping Stone Bus Stop, Marua Road, Satellite Town, Lagos. For those outside the country, also outside the country, yes, and also outside Lagos, you can still join us live, all right, to participate live through Zoom as well. So as the program is ongoing for the 2 days live physically, you can as well be able to join us. So, but we won't know how to send you link unless you're registered online. So please, on each time there's a flyer, we always put the online registration link there. So if you don't have it, you can request from her or from me so that we'll send you so you can register. On this note, I will say thank you very much for your presence, your patience, and also your participation for the last tester class of the Paradigm Shift 26. Don't forget, all these tester classes, they are what will be treated there. That's why I give you the tastes of the icebergs. So the tips of the iceberg, the tastes of the ears of the pudding. So if you have really enjoyed and you have felt the impact of the six tester classes, please, you're going to get it much more when you come over or when you join online on those 2 days. Don't forget, Madam Innocent will be presenting. I'll be presenting. Majida Mola Israel Olofa. Rhoda Odigbo will be presenting. Mrs. Indodia Abeli, former principal of Olasho, will be presenting. Dr. Abraham Bukumbi will be presenting. He's a wonderful Ansari expert known all over the world. Dr. Leo Igwe presenting, and one of the big guns from Lagos State University of Education, Dr. Simeon Sonifo will also be presenting on those 2 days. Thank you so very much. And also, if you are an exhibitor, you are allowed to come and exhibit your wares for free on those 2 days. If you are not, if you don't know anybody who's an exhibitor, please tell them that there's opportunity for them to come and showcase. Last year, people were so many, it was wonderful. It was an explosion. I'm sure that this year will be more than that. So thank you so very much once again for your presence, patience, and participation. Hoping to see you soon by Thursday and Friday, either physically or virtually. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Have a good night rest.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Good night.
Good night.
Good.
Good night.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Thank you.